Welcome to this Prepared Life podcast where homesteading and the apocalypse meet. I'm Allison, your host. This is episode 2. I'm Allison, your host, and I am so excited to talk about today's topic. Today, we are talking about the 5 W's of a preparedness plan. One of the things that I really wished for when I first dove into prepping for long term was a plan that just did it all for me. Like I searched and searched and searched high and low. And there are so many plans out there, but the problem I kept running into is only pieces of it would work for our family, or well, our family doesn't eat that. So I very quickly came to the conclusion that while yes, there are basic plans that can get you started, I think for us to truly prepare our families for an emergency, we need to put in the time and the effort in coming up with a plan that works for ourselves. Before we get started on today's topic, I do want to talk about not letting planning stop you from preparing. So I think for some of us, I'm raising my hand over here. I'm very type A. I like my lists and my organization. And I think it is very easy for myself and, people with a similar personality to think that we need to have it all planned out before we can start. And I think that while that is great and having a plan is wonderful, that can freeze us. And we need to do them both simultaneously. So start buying stuff at the grocery store that you know your family will eat. If you buy pasta, buy 2. If you buy canned beans, buy 2 extra. Start preparing as you make your plan. If you see bags of oats and your family loves oatmeal, get a bag of oats. Even though it's not on your plan yet, if you eat oatmeal, chances are it will be on your plan later. And if you don't eat oatmeal, chances are it'll be on your plan later because it lasts forever. Don't let planning stop you from preparing. Today, we are going to talk about the 5 W's of a preparedness plan. And this is how my husband and myself, we make our plan and what we are planning for. So get a piece of paper. You can head on over to the This Prepared Life blog. I have some worksheets you can print off if you'd like to fill those out. Feel free and ask any questions in comments or on Instagram. I am happy to answer those. So the first W in the 5 W's of a preparedness plan is who. Who are you prepping for? Sit down and make a list and write out all of the people that you would be prepping for. This can be kind of a hot topic for some people in the prepping world because some people are like, I am only prepping for my immediate family and no one else. And some people are prepping for others to come and join them. And some people want to prep in a way that they would be able to help their neighbors in case of a large scale end of the world as we know it situation. So who are you prepping for? Write out how many people, what are their ages? What are their physical abilities or disabilities? Do they have any allergies, dietary considerations? These are all things to think about. If you have someone who is allergic to gluten and all of your preps contain gluten, what is that person going to eat? So you really need to prep based on who is going to be with you. The next W is what. What are you prepping for? This is the big one. So make a list. And as unlikely as it might seem, I think last year all of us thought pandemic was at the bottom of our list. And here we are. So make a list of all of the possible situations that could happen. If you do not live in an area where wildfires happen, then wildfires don't need to be on your list, or they need to be way down at the bottom. But you're going to make this list and then put it in order of most likely to happen to least likely to happen. Needing a nuclear bunker is probably, in my opinion, someone else may have a different list. At the bottom of the list, I live in an area with a lot of wildfires, so that is high on my list. Maybe you live in an area with a lot of earthquakes or tornadoes or hurricanes. You know that your geography and your weather is different than anyone else's, so your list is going to be unique for you. The next, and there's another what here, so we have two whats, is what areas of my life or my family's life may be impacted by this event. One good thing, a lot of these events have a lot of overlap. If you're prepping for one, it tends to overlap to the other one. Sit out and really think about your life and how you do life and how you cook and which areas are going to be affected. Will you have water? Will you be able to cook? What is your fuel source? What is hygiene going to look like for you? What is power going to look like for you? These are all different areas of your life. If you have no power for 2 weeks, how are you going to do laundry? If you have no running water, how are you going to rehydrate the dried beans you have in storage? All things to think about. So, what areas of your life are going to be impacted by the events on your list and the situations on your list? So the next one is when. When is this event happening? What you need in the summer is going to be very different than what you need in the winter. If you live in a snowy climate, your winter evacuation bags probably need some hats and gloves and boots, whereas your summer bags probably don't need those things. The next W is where, and where will you be at? Will you be home? Will you be evacuated? When you hear the terms bugging in or bugging out, that's what people mean. Some people are planning to bug out and they have a bug out location. Some people plan to bug in and their home is their bug in location. So for you and for the events that you listed, where would you be? If we were evacuated for a wildfire, we would, chances are, either be in a hotel or at like a fairgrounds or something like that, depending on the size of the evacuation. So our evacuation kits and our evacuation bags reflect that. So the next one is a big one, and this one I think is the hardest. It's why. Why are you prepping? And the reason we're defining this is to help you stay focused. If you know why you are doing something, it completely changes your planning and your focus for that thing. So if you know why you are prepping, when prepping starts to get hard, and it will get hard, it's not always exciting and fun, knowing the reason you are doing this will help you stay focused to complete the tasks. And there is no wrong answer. Your why you are prepping is your answer, and my why we are prepping is my answer. So having that why in your brain or written out in your plan is really going to help you in your prepping, and whether you are going to be a prepper for the long haul or this is something you are going to do and then just burn out on and be short term in it. So define your why. One more, and it's how. And I know it's not a W, but that's what you get. How can you break this into smaller pieces? I know when I first wrote out my 5 W's, I was completely overwhelmed. It's a big list and it looks like this massive pile of things to do. So break it into smaller chunks. You're not going to build a bunker first. You're going to start with something smaller. So you look at that most likely to happen event on your list, whatever that may be, and you think about, what do I need for this situation? What do I need for 1 day? What do I need for 2 days? What do I need for 2 weeks? What do I need for 2 months? Every little bit matters. Nothing is too small when you are prepping. So you now have your who you are prepping for, you have your what you are prepping for, you have what areas of your life may be impacted, you have when is this happening, you have where will you be, You have your why are you prepping, and now you have your how. You're breaking this into smaller chunks, and having a goal and a plan will help you stay focused and get that done. And even if that means when you go to the grocery store, you buy one extra of something, that is one extra of something. Little bits at a time, take small bites, and just keep adding to your stockpile. Before you know it, it will grow and grow and grow, and you will just be amazed by your progress. In the current day and age in our economy and what is going on with our supply chains, every now and then, just in comments on forums or blogs or Instagram, I see people saying that if you haven't prepped, it's too late. And I don't believe that. Do I think it is easy to prep right now? No, but you can still do it if you plan. And if budget is a concern, like it is for most of us, you watch sales and you buy in bulk, and you make it happen in whatever way you can. I don't think it is ever too late to start prepping unless it's after. So I guess there's one. If the event has already happened, then it's a little too late. There's a quote, if not now, when? So, and I think, that is very fitting. If we are not planning now, when are you going to be planning and preparing for the things that are coming? Our definition of prepping here at This Prepared Life is preparedness is planning for the things to come, whether that be a job loss or inflation or a pandemic or an earthquake or a car breakdown on the side of the road. So these things in life happen, and being prepared and planning ahead for when they do happen brings just a peace of mind and knowing that you have prepared your family to the best of your ability. Thanks for listening today, and until next time, remember, every little thing matters, and a goal without a plan is just a wish. If you have any questions, feel free and find me on Instagram at This Prepared Life. You can also visit thispreparedlife.blogspot.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love it if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts.